Hello, students. Greetings to you from a AI beach. Just wanted to give you an opportunity here to be prepared for some of your assignments. A lot of the assignments that you will have on a weekly basis involve a writing, and you'll be writing within a particular assignment document. But it's also important that you understand that part of the grading of that includes complying with APA 7th edition format. To that goal of trying to make sure that you are fully prepared for that, what I've decided to do is to go ahead and present you with this video that you can upload at any time at your convenience and review it to see the formats that are necessary for using APA 7th edition. So without any further ado, let's go into that at the moment. And you'll see here in just a second, we have the slide beginning. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at using the correct citation formats for the beginning of wisdom, the LMS topic overviews, that's Halo, the resources that are available to you in Halo, and Bible references. These are basically the primary resources that you will be required to provide an in-text citation and a full reference citation. I just want to make sure that you have very quick and easy access to how to do that. So let's move into this a little bit here. Okay, so the categories we're going to look at are in-text citations, a parenthetic narrative, or parenthetical and narrative types of in-text citations. We're going to look at full references, how to do them for a book, for chapters within a book, and for web pages, and for the LMS or Halo content for topic overviews and the Bible. All right, so in terms of in-text citations, what that means is, let's say you're writing a paragraph, and then you decide that you want to quote or paraphrase a particular area of one of the resources. What you would do, and this is a basic example of the APA citation, if you are not having a direct quote, and by the way, whenever you use direct quotes, please be sure to use quotation marks. Whenever you have a direct, a parenthetic, you're paraphrasing basically the work of someone that you're reading, you'll provide a parenthetic at the end of that. And this is how it looks. It has a beginning parentheses, the author's last name, a comma, the year of the publication, and then an end parentheses. So that's how you do an in-text citation if you're not doing a direct quote. Here, if you are within the middle of a sentence or something, you're writing a sentence that has a partial quote that you're putting in there. This is basically considered a narrative quote, but it could also be the entire sentence could be a quote. If you have the entire sentence as a quote, you can still use the parenthetic at the end of that. Just put it in quotation marks. If you are having a portion of the sentence, like we have right here, as Smith 2022 explains, fish don't fly. So the fish don't fly is the direct quote part, and you can do a correct in-text citation by simply putting it in this format, okay? Now, if you have multiple authors, and in our primary textbook, The Beginning of Wisdom, we do have at least a couple of chapters that have two authors. We also have a situation where you have editors that are involved a little bit. We'll get into that here in just a few moments. So for multiple authors, if you have two authors, then this is the way it is done in terms of an in-text citation. Smith and Jones, 2022. And if you have two or more authors, then you just would put Smith et al. That's a Latin phrase meaning and others, I would assume, and then the date behind that. Okay. All right. Again, you'll have this where you can refer back to it at your discretion. Let's look at full reference format. So when you are doing your assignments, you'll have a text block where you'll be typing in your answers to a specific question. Those are, if you have a reference in there, that's the in-text citation. But whenever you have an in-text citation, you also have to have a full reference citation at the end of the document. And this is what a full reference citation looks like. The basic format is you have the author with a period. If there are editors, it has eds is in parentheses. Then you have year and parentheses. The title is in italics. And it's important to understand that in APA, in a title that is italicized, only the first word is capitalized and any other proper nouns, names of people, etc. Then after the title, you have the edition, publisher, and then the URL, that's the web address. And here's an example. This is for the beginning of wisdom, our textbook, Diffie D, comma, and Holland R, comma, with the periods after the first names or first name initial. Eds, EDS, I guess that should have a period up here in this one, but it should be a period after that. And then those are the editors of the beginning of wisdom. So this is when you're referencing the entire book of the beginning of wisdom. You're going to see in a few moments that when you're quoting a specific portion of it, that will be within a chapter. And there's a specific way of formatting for a chapter full reference or for even a chapter in-text reference we go into. So then you have the date, the beginning of wisdom. Here again, you see that the only words that are capitalized is the first word, and then a Christian here is a proper noun, so Christian is capitalized. But nothing else is capitalized in that. And for our text, it's the 5th edition, and it would be in this format. The publisher is Grand Canyon University. You put that there. And then this is the URL address. And so that is what a full reference citation for the beginning of wisdom should look like. All right, now let's take a look at when you're citing chapters in edited books. Again, the format is the author of the chapter, the year of the publication, which would be the year of the book, which is 2022. The title of the chapter, and then you put the editors, EDS, and book title in italics, the edition, publisher, and here's an example of what it looks like. Chapter 2 in the beginning of wisdom is called Evaluating Wisely. Notice that wisely is not capitalized. So you start off with Hiles, comma, J, there should be period, and Smith, comma, AF, and then the date of publication is 2022. It's chapter 2, Evaluating Wisely. That is not italicized. Then you go into, because chapter 2 is located in the beginning of wisdom. So it's called, the format is in D. Diffie and R. Holland, eds, period, in parentheses, comma, italicized, the beginning of wisdom, an introduction to Christian thought and life, 5th edition, Grand Canyon University, and then there's the URL. Now you'll notice down here that it shows chapter 2 and the page. So whenever you are providing a direct quote in your in-text citations, make sure that you provide the proper URL address for that specific page in your full reference. All right, so that's chapters in edited books. Now let's take a look at how you would cite for a resource in Halo, a resource in the LMS. So most of those resources, not all, but most of them are going to be for Grand Canyon produced works. There are some other elements that are in the resources, commentaries, etc., that are in there, and those would have a different format. But for the, for example, topic 1 overview is what we're using for our example here. The format is the publisher, Grand Canyon, the year, the title of the page, and the URL. So for topic 1 overview, it's this, Grand Canyon University, period, parentheses 2023, because if you look at the bottom of the topic overviews, when you are pulling those up to read them, if you go to the very bottom of the topic overview, it will have the copyright date on the very bottom of it. So that's why this is different from the book of the beginning of wisdom, etc. All right, so then you put topic 1 overview. Notice overview is not capitalized, and topic 1 is present as well. And then the title, Understanding Worldview, and then the URL address. Not that complicated, not that difficult, but it is important that you learn how to do the citations correctly and accurately. So make sure that you are utilizing this resource to make sure that you are providing the correct citation formats in your written submissions. All right. So now another element that you'll be citing is the Bible. Now there are a couple of different ways that I've seen this being done at GCU. I do it a little bit differently, and you'll see that in my posts. But the bare minimum requirement is that you only have to have an in-text citation. For example, if you quote John chapter 3, verse 16, then this is the in-text citation that you would use. You do not, excuse me, you are not and you will not be penalized if you do not include that in your full reference. Okay. But if you feel that you would like to be a little bit above the curve, then go ahead and include, this would be the full reference for that would be Zondervan, period, the year that the book was published, excuse me, 2011, period, Holy Bible, colon, New International Version, period. Okay. All right. So here's some tips and tools that you can have access to that will help you to figure out how to do a proper citation, because basically I've just covered some general elements that we use in our class, but there's going to be others that you'll have some challenges with. So take full advantage of the GCU Writing Center to get that information. You can access it through the Student Success Center in Halo, or you can use this address right here to access it. Also, Purdue OWL has the APA.org. These are almost together, Purdue OWL and APA.org, but these are other resources that are available to you. Now, in some of our assignments, you're going to be encouraged to use the GCU library. And a lot of times we'll be requesting that you use a peer-reviewed document. That's going to be like an article in a journal. So when you do look up an article in databases, and since this is basically a course in Christianity, one of the best databases to use is the ATLA database, ATLA, and you'll find that if you go into the Writing Center and you click on the library, for that matter. I mean, there's a link for you to go to the library. When you click on that, you'll see where you can click onto databases. Well, when you're looking up an article, if you'll notice on the right side of the article when it first is displayed, it actually will give you the correct APA citation. You click on that where it says cite, C-I-T-E, and it will show you exactly how to cite that. All right, so again, welcome to the class, and please utilize these resources. I will grade you pretty specifically on these formats for APA. So make sure that you're complying with them. You don't want to have points deducted just because of not complying with the particular format that's needed. All right. I wish you the best. God bless, and may you have a great 7 weeks or however long when you first looked at this video, the duration of the course. God bless.